8 miles apart, 2 shades of blue. It's the greatest rivalry, and it's the greatest venue. With the best players, they camp out for months just to watch Carolina and Duke. Duke and North Carolina have played 70 times on the floor of this historic building. It seems like every one of them has been a barn burner. 2 of the greatest programs in the history of college basketball. Duke and Carolina have combined for over 3,800 wins and have won over 2/3 of all ACC championships that have been competed for. Mike Krzyzewski and Dean Smith have won over 1,700 games combined. Great coaches, you can't count all the great players, the great All-Americans, and you certainly can't count the times that your heart has been in your throat when these 2 teams have played together. I'm here to bring you the top 5 games ever between Duke and North Carolina here on the floor of Cameron Indoor Stadium. Starting with number 5, the 2004 matchup between the Tar Heels and the Blue Devils. It featured the number 3 Blue Devils going against the number 14 Tar Heels on senior night. Chris Duhon was in his senior game, had a terrific game on both ends, as did freshman Lou Aldang. Lou Aldang, a very difficult matchup for any team, let alone the Tar Heels, with his ability to go inside and out and to run the floor. But late in the game, with under 10 seconds to go, North Carolina had a chance to tie down 3, but Rashad McCants in a double team turned the ball over, and this is the rivalry. When the ball's on the floor, you are on the floor. J.J. Redick getting possession, calling timeout, and Roy Williams knows that that was his last chance to win in 2004 against Duke. Number 4 in our top 5 countdown, 1981. Senior night in Mike Krzyzewski's first year at Duke and his first game against North Carolina in Cameron Indoor Stadium. The star of the game, as you would expect, Gene Banks. Down 2, late in regulation, Banks takes the pass from Kenny Dennard and drains it. Dennard insists it was the pass, but Banks always insisted it was the shot no matter who threw that pass. That was back when Cameron was 1,000 degrees during a Duke-Carolina game, and nobody was hotter that night than Gene Banks. North Carolina late in the game had a chance to tie, but the shot did not go, and Mike Krzyzewski had his first win against Dean Smith in this great building. Number 3 on our countdown, the 2005 matchup between number 7 Duke and number 2 North Carolina. This was a coming out party for DeMarcus Nelson, dishing the ball off to Shelden Williams, the All-America inside, and Shelden Williams returning the favor to Nelson along the baseline. Nelson played perhaps the best game of his career, and J.J. Redick was J.J. Redick. The step-back dribble and knocking down the shot as he so often did. But in this back-and-forth game in which Duke led most of the game, North Carolina had a chance at the end to win the game. The Tar Heels ran a play that they had run earlier in the year to beat Connecticut in Chapel Hill, but J.J. Redick had seen that game and played the play perfectly, denying the pass to Rashad McCants. Raymond Felton went to the other side of the floor, and there was nothing there. Duke comes away with a hard-fought victory in 2005. Number 2 on our countdown, 1986. Number 1 Duke against number 3 North Carolina, again on senior night. Johnny Dawkins, the Duke All-America, with that shot became Duke's all-time leading scorer at the end of the first half. Tommy Amaker with the strip, taking it the other way, and with great dignity beating the clock for the 2. North Carolina and Duke, the 2 best teams arguably in the country that year, matching up for the ACC regular season championship, and it was Mark Allery having another great game, taking the pass from Tommy Amaker and laying it in. Then late in the game with the steal, getting the ball to David Henderson to put the exclamation point on Coach K's first ACC championship of any kind, one of many. And the number 1 game on our countdown, 1998, number 1 Duke against number 3 North Carolina on senior night for Steve Wojciechowski and Rashawn McLeod. And the emotional leader, Steve Wojciechowski, finding McLeod on the wing. This was a game that was controlled for the most part by North Carolina, having a 15-point lead at one point in this ball game. The ball going inside to National Player of the Year Elton Brand. But late in the game, Duke had fought its way back to down 2 with just about 2 minutes to go, and Chris Carrawell drives the paint and able to knock down the right-handed jump hook in the lane. Then with just about a minute to go, Rashawn McLeod with the ball in the middle of the floor in the left-handed drive, able to put Duke on top, and Steve Wojciechowski, as always, leading the emotional charge. But with 1.2 seconds left to go, Brendan Haywood intentionally missed a free throw to give North Carolina the opportunity to tie it at the end, but it was not to be. Duke with the win, and Steve Wojciechowski with the most memorable hug in Duke history, running to Mike Krzyzewski, who just got his 500th win. And that concludes our countdown to the 5 greatest matchups between Duke and North Carolina on the floor of Cameron Indoor Stadium, and there will be many more to come.
Thanks for checking us out on DukeBluePlanet.com. Come again.